Hey guys, so welcome to my travel vlog.
Fui feliz com ela, fiquei com ela juntinho. Mas hoje eu sou favela, e as pepecas vêm em mim.
So today we are going to talk about why some people may not like Americans. Now I know you're probably thinking, well, you know, what if they don't like us, then that's their business, right? With that being said, well, you know, this is just a video of things that people have told me and things that I've noticed as being an expat and watching other expats, and also by, you know, just dealing with people outside of the country. Now, disclaimer, these are not facts. These are not backed up by any sources or resources. This is just strictly people's opinions of some people. Some people that collectively have stated to me that they just don't like, or they've noticed, or at least I've noticed. Number one, closed off and arrogance. A lot of Brazilians out here have noticed that like Americans are a little bit cold. They don't give a lot of hugs. They're not very touchy-feely. They're not too friendly per se. And I think a lot of Brazilians out here have met a lot of like people from the north. And with that being said, people from the north in the United States can be a little bit closed off and cold. You know, the greetings and the hugs and stuff like that. And like good mornings and good nights. You won't find that too much in the north, specifically New York City. Some people could find that a little bit, you know, like, ugh, like that's these Americans, they're very cold and very closed off. And the arrogance as well is something else as well that they've mentioned. Just thinking we're better at certain things, thinking we're the best, constantly always thinking we're the best at things. And the way that somebody else does it is wrong, and the way that we do it is right. You know what I'm saying? And just being closed off to things that maybe they have to offer. I know I can be someone who does that as well. I can do that sometimes. And I think it's cultural, you know what I'm saying? Like, for example, like certain things that they make I don't like, specifically because, you know, it's not the way that Americans make it, and I think the way Americans make it is better. That could be a little bit arrogant, you know what I'm saying, to somebody. Whereas, you know, who's to say that that way is the right way? You know what I'm saying? Their way might be the right way. You know what I'm saying? So, with that being said, the arrogance, that's one example. I'm sure there's a lot others, and if you know any, put them in the comments. So the pro side of this, of the arrogance and closed offness, we do have a sense of patriotism. Whether we believe it or not, a lot of us like to say, oh, I'm not patriotic, I could, you know, do without or whatever. You still miss certain things about your culture, you know what I'm saying? And there is some sense of, you know, red, white, and blue. Even for the people who are not extremely patriotic, including myself. I am not patriotic to by far. I'm not patriotic at all. But I do have some characteristics of patriotism, being from the USA, and that's just engraved in our culture, you know what I'm saying? We support a lot of American things, like a lot of American products. I didn't realize how many products were actually US made until I left. For the longest, we're always told that everything's made in China. Yeah, of course things are made in China, but a lot of the basic things that we use everyday life are actually American incorporated products. So, and these products, I'm like, damn, I do kind of miss these products. This product is actually really good, and we do support these products, and we support our actors, we support our pop culture, we support our organizations. Like, we really support these things. That's the good side of being a little bit closed off to the world, and I guess maybe being a little arrogant. Number two, racism and racial discrimination. America is very racist. I know I'm gonna get some backlash for that, and that's fine. That's fine. America is very racist, in my opinion. It's a very racist country. A lot of Americans practice racial bigotry or racial bias or racial discrimination. You have a lot of people who then become obsessed with race, where race has everything to do with what they're talking about. And a lot of foreigners are like, why are you guys so obsessed with race? Why is race in every equation? Because the reality is, in the United States, that maybe the possibility that you did not get that job is really because of your race. That is highly possible because there's been so many situations and instances that this has happened where, yeah, that's a possibility. It's a strong possibility that you did not get that job because you're Hispanic. That is probably why. It happens so often, and it's not like, oh, it's a walk in the park, you know, like, hey, it's whatever, just get here and everybody likes you. No, everybody don't like you in the U.S. And that's one thing about the U.S. that is another con, is the fact that we're so direct. Like, if I don't like you, I don't like you. You know, you're black, I don't like you. And it's very clear. It's clear and it's very evident. And it took for me to leave the United States to realize how racist America is. It's extremely racist, and the country was built on racism. That's all. That's really what it is. But there's a pro side to that. The pro side to that is people of color, specifically Native Americans and black people, have built this form of resilience. So we have something that a lot of other countries don't have, that power to fight back. So a lot of countries look to us for references. Malcolm X, you know what I'm saying? Leonard Peltier, you know, of Native Americans, and they look at us for examples on how to revolt against oppression in their country. And I've heard this numerous times being outside of the United States, that even some Afro-Brazilians here say, man, we look to y'all for, like, you know, cues and tips on how to fight racism in our own country. And I've also heard it from other people who are not from Brazil, from other countries. So this is something that we've built, and something that I can say I'm so proud of being a black American, Afro-American. That resilience is something that it's none like no other. We've learned how to fight. The third, the violence. Mass shootings. We have a lot of mass shootings. I honestly cannot name another country with the amount of senseless mass shootings. Now, I know some people can say, hey, yeah, obviously somewhere in the Middle East, or probably like South Sudan, or maybe somewhere in the northern area of Nigeria. However, there is a cause for why they're bombing and shooting. And I'm not saying it's right, because it's wrong as hell. Any type of acts of violence in that matter or sense is wrong. But the acts of violence in the United States is extremely different. It's mass shootings out of nowhere. My girlfriend broke up with me. I'm gonna go shoot up a school. And on top of that, we have acts of warfare. You know what I'm saying? And this piggybacks into racism, where, like, these two specific races that I've mentioned, black and indigenous, are till this day, suffering from some type of generational genocide. There's generational genocide amongst these two races. Don't know what that is? Google it. Acts of warfare. We have the deadliest weapons. A lot of the weapons that's out here in Brazil and South America, period, are from the U.S. There's a great documentary on the black market of gun salesmen, or gun selling. And it's called The Traffickers. I want you guys to check that out if you want to. The Traffickers basically shows how black marketing guns is, like, so big in the U.S. We're the #1 sellers of it. The violence in America exists, and people see that. People around the world see that, and they're just like, what the fuck is that? Like, why do you guys have these mass shootings? We don't have these mass shootings. The pro to this, there's a pro to everything. The pro to this is we have learned how to come together as a community, and also create organizations that are doing great for communities that suffer with great violence. Organizations and associations that get youth involved, elders involved, veterans involved, everyone involved, to talk about gun violence and gun education. So, with that being said, that's our pro. We definitely learn how to handle we learn how to have conversations and open up and start a branch to try and change the world. That's what we do. That's the American way. I hope that you guys enjoyed those top 3 things, top 3 reasons possibly why foreigners may not like us too much. So I hope you enjoyed it. If you have any questions, or if you have any comments, or you want to add something, or you want something else, you have something else you want to say, write it below. Make sure you guys like, subscribe, and comment. Make sure you hit the notification bell so you can be notified when I put up a new video. It's been real, y'all. Take care, and I will see you next week.